Hello guys. So this video is to show you how to do partial TP, mainly to manage your trails lah. Okay, so let's use Ford as an example. Imagine that I have a Ford trade. Let's say I entered somewhere here at this candle, and then let's say my TP is somewhere here on this candle. Okay, so I just input the data for let's say I bought 500 shares, entry at 16.8. Then when the price finally reached my TP, right, 20.75, right, I will of course have to exit the price lah. So when you exit the price, since this is your first position, you are supposed to exit 70% and you leave the remaining 30% there. Or was it 75-25? Is that percentage is not a big factor lah. Whether you want 70 or 75 is not going to impact a lot. Okay, so let's say I want to exit 70%, so I need to leave the 30% behind. So when I'm going to TP, right, I will calculate lah. Or in fact, when you initially enter your first position, right, you can kind of like use the extra column here to help you track with your trails, meaning you can put like, in this case, 70% will be 350 shares. So now that I am going to exit 350 shares, right, I'm going to be left with 150. So since I exit 350 shares, in this number of shares, right, I'm going to input 350. And what I will do is I will just copy this entire line, and then I will paste it below. So this will be my remaining. So your entry date is still the same, your entry setup is still the same, but your remaining shares will be 150, and of course your entry setup is still the same lah. Then this will become your trail ready. So the trade journal will record your original position and you still have a trail left hanging there. So maybe in this case, right, maybe you might want to do like a T0 or something lah to help you keep track lah. So this I'm not going to go in detail how you want to keep track of your trails, because I think everyone have their own ways and you have to come up with a way that is best for you lah. Okay, so I think using this kind of column to do, right, is quite very useful, because you can actually look at use this filter function to see where are all your trails, where are your T1, where are your T2, all this kind of stuff, right? And next time when you give me your journal to review, also is very, very easy for me. I think it's gonna improve a lot of our check-in session by a great amount. Is going to reduce a lot of work lah. So I don't need to keep reminding you to hand in your stuff. I just own self come here, own self see can already. You just need to send to me one time lah. Okay, so I think this is very, very good for those who are consistently keeping up with your trade journal, and those who keep signing up the check-in session with me. I highly encourage you guys to continue to do that, and it will be very, very helpful for both you and myself. Okay, so next, right, since we have a trail here, since we have one trail here, let's say you want to enter a second position. So okay, Ford came out on the scanner again, and let's say now it came up here lah, and then I want to enter a position here. I mean, I'm not going to check the stop loss and all this lah, just example lah. Okay, let's say I want to enter a position at 24.36 on 4th of January. So this is my second position. So when you have a second position, right, I think you can just leave your trail position there. And then what you do is same thing, you copy everything again, but of course your date will be different lah. Your date will be 4th Jan 2022. Okay, 4th Jan 2022. Then you calculate the number of shares that you are supposed to do. Then let's say it comes up to about 300. Let's say it comes up to about 300, and then the entry price is, just now I mentioned, 24.33. So this is your entry price again. So now you have actually, so here I'm gonna put T plus one. Now you have one open position and one trailing position. Okay, so now this is your second position, and let's say your second position is now hit with a TP, right? Your second position is now hit with a TP. Let's say the TP is at $29. Let's say the TP is at $29. So now because of our change in our trailing strategy, right? We are not going to TP from second trade onwards already. We only TP the original, the very first trade. From second trade onwards, right? We will always shift our stop loss. So in this case here, I don't recommend tracking your stop loss using this spreadsheet. Maybe you can use one of the column to put where your stop loss is, but of course, since you want to track stop loss to see whether you can exit or not, right? I do suggest you track it on your trading view lah, since you are coming to trading view to see where the price is, right? It is better to track your stop loss on the trading view. Okay, so that's just my recommendation. If you feel safer so that you have some data of your stop loss in case you accidentally delete your trading view or what, right? I think that is okay lah. That's okay. So let's say, right, due to our strategy, let's say at some point maybe our Ford finally hit the stop loss, and then we have to exit everything at once or what, those kind of thing, right? Let's put another entry in. Let's put another entry in. Let's say let's say our position that enter here, we hit the TP at, let's say maybe agak-agak lah, $29. Okay, let's say we hit the TP at $29. So since we hit the $29, right, our stop loss on Ford will be shifted to 24 lah. Our stop loss on Ford will be shifted to $24. Sorry, this particular entry, and then we have a next entry again, and then we enter another one, maybe 290. Now this one is at maybe $35, like something like that. And eventually, right, at some point you are going to hit with your break even lah. You are going to hit with your break even at some point, and at some point, let's say this last trade is now hit with a break even. Is hit with your stop loss or break even or whatever lah, and then your exit will be or somewhere there. Okay, so I'm gonna put this as exit date will be, let's see, maybe March 15, 22. Okay, March 15, 22. So eventually we're gonna hit with a stop loss for everything, and then you will finally exit. So once you manage to like exit everything, right, now all your position are kind of like closed out already, and then your dashboard will definitely reveal your so-called your data lah. Okay, so in this case, right, how is it different from your Excel spreadsheet that I sent out last time? I think this one probably for the batch 1 and batch 2 folks lah. Batch 3, I didn't really recommend you guys to use the Excel already, because I think most of the information I can get from the investing note. So in this case, the difference here is that now you have four position. You have 4 position on Ford, and in terms of the data analytic wise, right, it's going to consider your Ford as 4 different positions rather than 1 big position. So in that aspect, the data analytic is slightly different lah, because the spreadsheet is not able to tell that you are holding this for very long and this is like 1 big position. So in a way, right, you cannot track which are your big winning counters or what, but maybe you can make use of your extra column, the T+3, T+2, to see how many of your counter actually hit to that T+3, T+4 level, that kind of stuff lah. So in a grand scheme of things, right, there isn't really a big difference, because whether you take 1 big profit or whether you take 4 small profit, right, at the end of the day, your expectancy value is still going to be the same. The only thing that will differ is maybe your risk reward ratio, because maybe if you consider your entire fort as one position, right, you will have one trade that have very little risk but very high reward, and your risk reward ratio can be like 1 to 10 like that for this particular trade, and it will kind of like shift your risk reward ratio performance by very high. But if we consider forts as separate trades, right, then your risk reward ratio will be kind of like small, because every trade you are taking a little bit of risk, a little bit of risk, a little bit of risk, like, even though we keep shifting the SL. But as I mentioned in a lot of my videos, right, risk reward ratio doesn't matter. It's a junk it's a junk piece of data. The only thing that matters is your expectancy. Okay, so at the end of the day, whether your risk reward ratio is high or low, or whether the fort is taken at one big trade or four small trade, right, at the end of the day, your expectancy value is still going to be the same, because it is going to account for the both the number of trades and the number of profits. So it has more parameters inside in calculation, and whether you take 4 trades or one big trade, it doesn't matter from the expectancy perspective. That's why expectancy is a very, very more useful way to look at your performance, because traders can purposely skew their risk reward ratio by like making a lot of funny things to prove that their risk reward ratio is very high. But expectancy cannot be kind of cheap in that way lah. It is still the same value no matter how much you try to play around with your entry and that kind of stuff lah. Okay, so I think that this method, it doesn't require a lot of effort for you to track. In fact, I will feel it is superior to the Excel spreadsheet, because now at least those profit that you have partially taken, they are reflected. So your dashboard is not going to be everything negative lah, because everything you are holding is still trailing and all those. So at least it kind of accurately reflect things that you have actually taken profit lah. Okay, so hopefully this kind of helps you on how to manage. And if you have any other feedback or what, do let me know. I will try my best to change it. And the reason why I'm looking at this is also because I think Terence was asking me whether if there is any way we can like implement Trill into this, and then I was like thinking, then I realized that actually maybe can, like I don't have to make all kind of funny formula or what, but just using this little simple method without any big effort on your part, right? I think it can be done, it can be done. So for example, let's eventually your spreadsheet will become a lot of data lah. And sometimes when you want to find your trails, right, you can use the filter function, or let's say you know that all your fort position are having a trail, but you don't want to scroll and find where your fort position are, you can actually come here and just type in fort, and then it will just show you all your fort position lah. Okay. Oops, what happened? Okay, yeah, fort. Then it will show you all the positions that are fort lah. So the filter function is very, very useful also, which I believe the Excel spreadsheet doesn't have. So in all manners, right, I consider this to be a much superior one lah. Okay, so hope this session helped you guys to manage your trail. Thank you very much for your consistent support.